Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel, and if you are new here, welcome to my channel. My name is Ivy and I have a teeny tiny little grocery haul for you today. So the reason it's teeny tiny is because I am participating in the Three Rivers Challenge, the Three Rivers Pantry and Freezer Challenge to be a little more specific, but the hashtag is Three Rivers Challenge. And the challenge is to use as much from your stockpile, your freezer, your pantry. It doesn't even have to be an excessive stockpile, but use as much as you can of what you have to go to the grocery store less during these early months of the year. The challenge is very flexible. So we have all of us that are doing it set our own rules to have our own goal. My goal is to just kind of recoup some of the monies spent from Christmas and the holiday season, of course. But also my secondary goal is to use up mainly stuff that I have in my freezer. So I'm really trying to make a huge dent in my refrigerator, freezer in here, and just use up a lot of things. So in last week's video, if you have watched that, here's just a little recap. Or if you haven't watched it, here's what I talked about last week. I'll link it also so you can go back and watch it. But I went through my pantry and my freezer and made a pretty solid list of about 20-ish meals that I can make with what I have on hand. So my goal is to spend $35 at the grocery store each week. I know, number one, milk is $10 right off the bat, and we have to buy that every single week. And then there's going to be those little things. My reason it's $35 is because I pretty exclusively do online grocery pickup. I don't like going into the store. We're a very busy family. If you want to see how busy we are, check out our weekly vlogs. Those come out on Saturdays. But just to keep myself out of the store. And you know how it goes. You go in the store and you see something else and you're like, oh, I want this, I want this, I want this. So it'd be really difficult to go in the store and only spend $35. So if I can do it online, I know exactly how much I have spent. I hit my $35 cutoff and I'm done. So this week I spent $35 flat before taxes and everything, because that's the threshold for free pickup. And then they substituted my milk, unfortunately. But that put me $35.79 total, tax and everything included. So that, I guess, kind of worked out in my favor. It did save me some money, but it's also the milk that we don't like. So it is what it is, and we'll be just fine. We'll get through it. So I'm going to take you into the kitchen, not to the table. If you're not new, you know I normally fill up my table, but I don't have to. I only have literally 6 items, but 6 items for $35. It's kind of sad. So let me show you what I picked up this week. And then what is going to happen, because this will be a really short video, is I have been filming all of the foods I have made in the previous week. So I'll film the next day or two as well and add those on there and just kind of show you what we have been eating and how I have used up the items from my pantry and freezer for the meals that I've made throughout the last week. Oh man, I'm just now realizing how dark this is. So maybe we'll go back to the table next week. But for now, this is what we've got. 6 little items, and let's talk about them. So Scotty put on the list Tony Chachere's Creole seasoning. And this was like, the normal one that we normally get is 8 ounces. And it was like 2 something or other. And this was only 40 cents more for twice as much. And we really use a lot of this. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to spend the extra 40 cents. And then when it came, I was like, holy Creole, like it's way bigger than I thought it was going to be, but it's great. We use it a lot. So I'm glad to have it. Scotty uses it probably almost every day when he makes like his eggs for lunch and stuff. And then, like I said, this is the substitution. We do not prefer the Great Value milk, but it is what it is. We will definitely use it. But we've used all of our milk. I've used powder milk the last 2 days, which I'm very grateful that I had it on hand. So, anyway, we will definitely go through this within the week, so it's going to be just fine. Aiden requested chips. He actually also put cheese on the list, but he chose the chips over the cheeses that he put. So we'll get chips, or we'll get cheese next week, because I should not have to buy coffee next week. This is almost $17. So this is, over half of my budget, or about half of my budget right here. But certainly next week we're going to need other items that are higher too. So anyway, coffee is a must. That's all we have right there. And we go through quite a bit of coffee. So that's a must in our household. And then this was also an Aiden request. Again, choices were made, and I think they were good ones. We got some jalapenos We like these tamed ones, so they are a medium heat, but they're more flavor of jalapeno than the spice of a jalapeno. So we really enjoy those. And that is it. Those are the 6 items I picked up this week. $35 right there. And now we'll get into all of the meals that I have been preparing this week. I am going to do this voiceover style, which I've only done like 1 or 2 other voiceover videos. So bear with me on how it turns out because I'm not used to doing that kind of format of a video. The items I'm using up this night are a pound of ground deer, a can of chili beans, olives from the pantry and refrigerator, some Italian dressing, corn chips, lettuce, and some cheese. I'm making our favorite, some taco salad. We love taco salad so much we could eat it probably every week. My family would not be sad. So I'm just browning up the ground meat, season it with chili powder, cumin powder, salt and pepper, you know, the usual things, and then add in the can of chili beans undrained. I just like the texture that it gives it. It makes it moist. I know people hate that word, but it just gives it a totally different texture than just taco meat, and we prefer it that way. Then I'm going to get the toppings ready. So I'm going to cube up some cheese. That's just how we prefer it. I know a lot of people put sliced cheese on their taco salad, but we like it cubed. That's how my mom always did it, and that's how I do it. I also sliced up some lettuce really thin. I prefer lettuce on mine. The rest of the family can do without, but that's how I like it. And here it all is complete. We really love this meal. And like I said, we could eat it every single week. The following day, we decided to go with some potato soup. It was a cold day. Scotty went out hunting, and I had been wanting potato soup for a while. Plus, I needed to use up some ham that it'll make its appearance soon. But I think I used like 8 potatoes this day, which with just the 4 of us, it was probably overkill, but we had tons of leftovers, and I am not sad about it. We ate this potato soup multiple times throughout the course of this week. So you won't see all the meals we ate because we ate leftovers quite often of this potato soup and some of the other meals that I did make. So just cubing them up, throwing them in the pot of water so that they can be getting soft while I get the rest of my ingredients ready. All right, here's that ham. This is what we had left from Christmas, and I was ready to get it used up. And I actually had more than I realized. So you're fixing to see this skillet was not big enough. This is the skillet I always use when I make potato soup and warm up the ham, but this is more ham than I usually use. So by the time it got in there with the butter and then the onions went on top of that, I was pretty full, but I made it work, and it was so delicious in our potato soup. I'm just adding a little flour there so when it goes into the soup it thickens up nicely. Grating up about a cup of cheese to add in a little bit. Checking my potatoes, they are ready. Normally I would drain them and put in milk, but you just saw there I added powdered milk because I was out of milk. Added in about a cup of sour cream as well. I'm salting and peppering to taste. I think I actually added a little bit of red pepper flakes to this. Yeah, that was that there. And it was actually really lovely, but this was such good soup. I don't know if it was just making it different this time. The ham, there was so much different than how I normally make it, but it turned out so good and we really enjoyed it. Normally I would do a nice crusty bread with potato soup, but I didn't even think about bread till it was too late. So we just went with some buttered crackers, and I actually really enjoyed having the buttered crackers with this soup. And these are not all for me. I did butter crackers for all the family to have, and they just picked them up as they came and got their bowl. And here are all the leftovers. So that big, I don't even know how big that is, Disney bowl there was a lot. That's what fed us leftovers multiple times. And then the small ones, I sent some home with my mom, and then Riley took some to school to feed herself and her boyfriend Caleb. He enjoys my cooking, and that warms my heart for sure. Now we are going to make some deer steaks with mushroom gravy. I used 2 packets of backstrap. The corn is what we had for our side. A can of cream of chicken soup, a can of mushrooms, 1 onion, and then I did mashed potatoes as another side. So of course I have to peel and prepare my potatoes first because my potatoes take the longest. So I'm going to get them on before I get my meat prepped. Does anyone else cut potatoes like this whenever the size of the cubes don't matter? I think it's my daughter Katie was like, I don't know how you cut those without cutting yourself. I don't know. My mama taught me that way. And now I'm going to start prepping my meat. I'm just draining out the blood there, pouring it in the bowl so I can get the blood off of it. I'm just putting some olive oil in my pan and letting that get hot. And then I'm putting these on the plate so that I can season the side I'm going to put down first. And I'm just using salt and pepper. And my pepper shaker was not moving fast enough. So then I'm going to put them in the pan, season side down, and then season the opposite side, of course. And I'm just getting a quick little sear on these. These are pretty thin steaks. And so once I get them turned over, I'm adding my flour and just going to let it chill for a little bit while I'm getting some other things ready. Then I will add in the cream soup and, oh yeah, I stirred in the flour. It was not going my way this night. I'm just going to tell you that. I added in the mushrooms there too. Cream soup, then the onions, and then just let it simmer and saute for probably about at least 20 to 30 minutes. And that just really incorporates all of the flavors. And then, of course, I will stir it. I don't think I show you that, but prepping my corn, just having it ready in the microwave. And here it all is done. I did not show you me stirring it, but there's the steak and gravy with mashed potatoes and our corn for our side. And it was so delicious. We really enjoyed this dinner. And Scotty had leftovers for a couple of days as well. Now we're going to have some breakfast sandwiches. I have been wanting to use up those sausage patties. I have plenty. That was bacon grease that I'm going to fry my eggs in. And we still have a lot of those biscuits left. And they are the best. They're called Mary B's biscuits. And they are so, so good. If you've never tried them, give them a try. I used to buy canned biscuits. I do not anymore. All right, getting everything prepped to go in the oven. And once those are in the oven, I'm going to start frying my eggs just so they don't get too cold, because those sausage and biscuits only take about 12 minutes to cook. So that gives me plenty of time to get my eggs fried up. And that was bacon grease I just put in there. I have a lot of bacon grease in my refrigerator. I actually bake my bacon, which makes for the purest, most beautiful bacon grease ever. So I had that bacon grease, which as you can see, I let get a little bit hot, but the eggs were perfect. They were actually like crispy on the outside and still kind of runny in the middle. They ended up turning out really good. It has taken me most of my married life, which is 18 years, to get frying an egg down. My husband used to do all the egg frying because it's something I could not master for a long time, but I think I'm finally getting the hang of it. Thank goodness. And I made 2 biscuits for each of us. So I just got out some butter and jelly so we can have some like dessert biscuits after we have our breakfast sandwiches. And those are the biscuits all done. They are so flaky and delicious. Used up that sausage out of my freezer. That was so great. And then our crispy, delicious eggs. So I'm going to assemble the sandwiches for my family. And these were so good. We probably could have eaten 2 sandwiches each, but that's all the sausage we had. So the dessert biscuits ended up being a great little addition at the end. And that was homemade grape jelly and homemade apple butter that we put on our dessert biscuits. And it was so delicious. And our last meal, this one was a fly by the seat of our pants night because Aiden was actually sick, and so I was trying to think of something that he could eat that would soothe his throat, help him feel better, and oatmeal and oven toast just sounded amazing, even though we just had breakfast for dinner the night before. So I just put my oats and water in the pan, and I'm getting out all of my toppings now. I have these dried craisins in my freezer, so I'm using up a little bit of that. So yay, more stuff out of my freezer. And then I had those pecans left from the Christmas season, so we like them on there. Those were in the freezer, so I'm putting them in some warm water to try and thaw them out a little bit. I put a coffee cup on top to hold it down. And now we're just mixing it up. So I did some butter, nuts, craisins, and brown sugar and cinnamon, and it was so good. That oven toast makes the perfect spoon to just scoop the oatmeal directly into your mouth. Don't even have to use a spoon. Oh, I love oatmeal with oven toast, just the way Mama used to make it. All right, y'all, thanks so much for coming along with me on this video this week. I hope you have enjoyed it. I hope you are enjoying this Three Rivers challenge. I certainly am. It is definitely challenging me to get outside the box, to really use up the items, and I've already seen the dent, and I'm really excited about it. So if you enjoyed this video, I would love for you to give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment down in the comment box, and of course, subscribe to my channel. I'm doing this all month, and I'm going to stretch it as long as I can. Jessica over at Three Rivers Homestead, she does it the entire month of January and February. So that's kind of how the challenge is designed to be done. I'm only planning on doing it for January, but I'll stretch it as long as I absolutely can. You know, saving all those pennies is the best possible. And I will also say, like, we have snow coming in tonight, and it's not supposed to stick around, but through the winter months, it's so nice to already have like all of these meals planned and ready and know what I can make with what I have on hand in case we do get stuck, snowed in at home or whatever. So anyway, again, if you enjoyed this video, you're going to want to make sure and subscribe so you don't miss any of those future videos coming out over the next several of weeks. And I would just love you to join my YouTube family. We have a lot of fun around here, and I would just love to have you as part of it. So thanks for coming along with me today. I love you so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.